It sounds like, they're coming after Amazon. I like that. I like to hear it, man. Little 1, 2, 3. That's good. So coming up, we have our friends at YotPo. They've been a partner of ours for a while now. Super stoked to have them on board and to be the presenting sponsor for this. If you guys don't know who YotPo is, they help your business accelerate growth with a full suite of solutions for customers. And when it comes to reviews and visual marketing, loyalty, referrals, SMS marketing. John Alkaline, I'm sorry, John, dude, my eyes are so shot, man. We're almost at the end of the day, right, Angel? It's so brutal. I'm gonna bring glasses next time. I apologize. Anyways, join Alkaline Herb and SMS expert from Hawke Media in a roundtable session moderated by YotPo, our friends, to discuss strategies to maximize revenue during the holiday season. Listen, you guys have been building up to this. You're gonna be spending a lot of money. Absolutely crucial that you leave no meat on the bone and nothing gets away from you. And these guys specialize in that. So I want to welcome Amber, Sahari,
Sue.
Sue. Thank you, Sue. You're helping me. I really appreciate it. Not only am I blind, but I have a speech impediment. And I'm going to try to get this one right. Mike, is that right? Right?
Exactly right.
From Hawke Media and from Alkaline Herb Shop and the Director of Sales and Marketing at YotPo, Mike. So with that, you guys have a great session. I'm going to go get my eyes checked again and work with a speech therapist, and I'll be back to join you. Keep yourself hydrated. All right. Have fun, you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Well, we can jump right into it. We all, I think, know that this holiday season is going to be like no other one that we've seen in the past for, I think, a handful of reasons, many of which we won't really cover today. But for e-commerce, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. This year, in what's expected to be one of, if not the biggest e-commerce events in history, we're going to see more and more brands competing online. And so these brands are going to need to find a way to stand out and cut through all this chaos and all this noise. And with so much changing so rapidly, this is a really important time to think critically and try new strategies. So we put this panel together to give some insight into how SMS in particular can play a crucial part of that holiday 2020 strategy, and how putting an SMS strategy into play now can actually help you boost revenue even long after Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So that's why we're here. If that's not why you're here, this is, I guess, your opportunity to leave the session, but I really encourage you to stick around. I think we've got a lot of great stuff to cover. Why am I here? Who am I? My name is Mike Curley. As mentioned, I'm over at YotPo, head up our sales and strategy. But for the better part of the last 10 months, I've focused on our SMS go-to-market efforts. So I've been focusing on a company called SMS Bump, which we acquired recently back in January of 2020. But enough about me. I have the privilege of sharing this virtual stage with two SMS experts. So we have Amber from Hawke Media and Suhail, the founder of Alkaline Herb Shop. You two can do a much, much better job of introducing yourselves than I can. So I will turn it over to the two of you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mike. My name's Amber. I'm a lifecycle marketing campaign manager here at Hawke Media, and we handle all things email, SMS, loyalty, all the fun stuff to try and capture new customers and retain your current ones. Obviously, what Mike touched upon, holiday is super important, and I'm really excited to be diving into more of the Black Friday, Cyber Monday fun stuff with all things SMS.
Hi guys, I am Sue. I'm the founder of Alkaline Herb Shop, and we've been around for a few years. We just started doing SMS marketing this year, and it's been great so far. We sell dietary supplements and wellness products, and we're just really excited to be here.
Excellent. Well, I know from a few conversations we've already had, there's a ton to unpack. a lot of really cool things that you two have been working on together. So let's dive in, if that's cool with the both of you. So I think the easiest way, just to oversimplify this entirely, is we're going to break the conversation into two main parts, right? The first, pre-Black Friday, Cyber Monday, everything that goes into that big event and all the different activities that occur pre-Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And then we'll also talk about what happens after, right? When the dust settles, what are kind of those critical steps and the things you're already thinking about in order to capitalize? So we'll start with pre-Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And Sue, the question I guess I'd like to start with you, and Amber, chime in, of course, at any point as well, is when do you actually even start planning your Black Friday and Cyber Monday strategy?
Oh, we start months in advance, and we're always trying to like see what other people are doing and just get ideas and do some research. But we really have the skeleton of it set up. We just finalized it. It actually took a little later than I would have liked, but we definitely plan this months in advance. And especially this year, it's going to be such a huge year for e-commerce. I think like we've never seen before. And I think retailers are really going to step up their online marketing this year. So this year's even more important than other years, in my opinion.
And would you say that, just how would it compare? I guess we're talking about the heightened level of traffic, the unprecedented level of sales, all of the competition for the same set of customers. Did you do anything differently this year in terms of like pulling that timeline up, or how did that happen?
Well, we're definitely having bigger sales this year than we've had ever before. I'm not big on huge sales because our products are already competitively priced, so you don't want to give away too much. But this year we're definitely going in, and I'm sure Amber has a few more thoughts about that she wants to share.
Yeah, definitely. We are focusing on tiered offers just because that has worked so well for us on the SMS side of things in the past. We had a very successful Labor Day weekend sale, and it's really been effective. And just kind of circling back into, planning our strategy, I feel like there's never a better time to plan than just have it in your head constantly all year long.
And so you talk about the tiered offerings, right? And that's like one specific tool in the toolkit. But where do you start, right? Like, because all of that, for me, having not done, Black Friday, Cyber Monday planning myself, where do you start? There's so many different directions you could go. Sue, you mentioned about like, we don't like to typically offer sizable discounts. So when there's so many different paths you can go down, what's the starting point? Where is the first place that you begin when crafting that strategy?
Yeah, the starting point is really determining what type of offer you want to do. And that's when you need to look at your past sales from last year, from this year, what has worked, right? Has a percentage off site-wide has been effective? Has your buy more, save more tiered offers work better? It's all about collecting all that data and A/B testing results and figuring out, okay, based on these results, here's what we should do. And we just want to go a little bit more aggressive, a richer incentive, because Black Friday, Cyber Monday, it's still the Super Bowl for all brands. So, let's go hard or go home.
Absolutely. And when you think about the A/B testing, you're obviously looking, to achieve some sort of end result. How do you set the goals and KPIs? And Sue, for you as well, if you're comfortable sharing, right? Like what is it that is the end goal? Is it as simple as the dollars and cents at the end of the day? What other types of goals and KPIs are you very closely monitoring as you set up for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and ultimately determine whether it was successful or not?
Yeah.
So go ahead, Amber, and I'll join after.
Sorry. To just specifically looking into the click rates, the click-through rates, the conversion rates, seeing those metrics, and based on previous sales and setting up the benchmarks for this year, I think those are two important metrics on how we base the performance on. And definitely sales, of course, is a huge revenue driver, but also customer lifetime value. So how can we keep those people engaged after our huge sales and after that lull, what I like to call the BFCM hangover?
Absolutely, which definitely hits, I'm sure, very hard with all of the work leading up to it. Once it's over, the adrenaline rush, I can't even imagine. Sue, anything there as well in terms of like the way that you specifically have thought about goals or KPIs this year? Pretty comprehensive list from Amber, but
Well, yeah, and for the holiday season, we're also going to be introducing bundles. So for us, we just want to teach people about our products and show them, oh, you can combine these together and it's good for this. So it really serves as an educational experience as well. So we definitely want to make some of those sales for our least performing products by grouping them into bundles and educating the customer. I think that's really important. So get the sale across, but if you can add some value, I think that's also good, because that will reflect in more sales, specifically for those products that aren't like our top performers.
right. Yeah, and it's interesting because I think even myself, in the way I've even asked these questions, you gravitate towards the sale and the promotion and the offer, but there's still a huge opportunity from an engagement perspective with different types of content, the educational materials, particularly in the wellness space, for example. So it's not just all about the sale opportunities, but that education. So definitely an important point. So tons of different KPIs that we're monitoring and a bunch of different ways that we can execute on different types of strategies. The one obviously I'm curious to talk most about is how you're incorporating, and Sue, I think we can start with you here, but just how you're incorporating SMS into Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I know it's just the first year doing it, and then Amber would love to hear as well afterwards more kind of tactically how we've set that up and how we plan to execute over the next month or so.
Well, we really treat our SMS customers like our VIPs. So they're getting early access to all of the sales and maybe even prolonged access. We're looking at that too. So we're definitely approaching it from that standpoint.
Yeah, and to bounce off of that, we're definitely thinking of a little bit more of aggressive resend strategy in place for our SMS subscribers too. And we want to work in tandem with our email campaigns because having those two channels work together, timing is the most important thing. And you want to be able to space it out so that way someone gets hit in their email inbox, you want to start hitting them in the SMS inbox about 1 to 2 hours after. So just kind of fine tuning that send strategy and working with both channels to perfect the timing on all of that.
Absolutely. And there's so many different ways and different touch points that consumers have these days with not only just Alkaline Herb Shop, for example, but all these brands that are competing for the same set of eyeballs. And so really interesting to just think about the way that you're very deliberate about that communication. But because there's all these different types of channels, I think one thing that at least I've learned is that there's different copy and different approaches in different types of channels, just based on the way that we kind of interact and engage with them. So as you think about the next month or so, Black Friday, Cyber Monday prep, are there specific campaigns that you're sending only through SMS or things that are going to be specific to that SMS channel versus any others?
We are doing a couple free shipping weekends. So there are going to be those, and then also highlighting specific bestsellers and letting the customer know that this is SMS only, collection specific sales, things like that, leading up to Black Friday and Cyber Monday, as well as after the holiday period.
Got it. And to Sue's point from earlier, right, I think just even that element of, despite it being a community, right, that element of exclusivity where you're our VIP, we're reaching out to you directly on this personal one-to-one channel can go, a long way.
Absolutely.
So, go ahead, Sue.
No, absolutely. And we try to do that a lot, not just for the holidays, but just really offer them exclusive sales. So everything that's offered through SMS marketing is sometimes they overlap, but we do have very exclusive and some great deals.
Great. So one of the other things that's key, right, is if we're going to think about, you know, executing on campaigns and the free shipping weekends and all these great things that we plan to do, there needs to be a list of subscribers for us to contact in the first place, right? So how have you thought about, Sue, I think maybe just from like a broader brand strategy perspective, and then Amber as well, like from what you've actually already been able to execute on since this is off the ground already. What efforts did you make to grow the subscriber list in the first place and leading up to this big event?
Well, we started off with a pretty large marketing list. And what we did is we emailed all of our customers. These people have already bought from us or signed up to our newsletter, and we offered them 15% off if they signed up for text marketing. Now, that may not be a lot for some stores, but for us, we don't have very many discounts. So that was a good sale. And if you're a customer of ours, you definitely want to get that 15% because it doesn't happen that often. So, you know, if you're looking at this from the perspective of another store, then, you know, maybe your best rate could be 25%, but you really want to offer something enticing to get them to subscribe. So we sent out a couple of email campaigns to all of our already subscribers. We also shared everything on social media multiple times. In fact, I still do it. Like every month, I'll plug it in. So you want to share that in your main page, and you also want to share that in your stories. So I do that all the time. We also, every time an email goes out, we typically send about 2 emails a week. On the footer of the email, it tells you about SMS marketing and how you could get 15% off your next order if you sign up. So they're reminded about it all the time, and it's grown very quickly, and the results really speak for themselves. I think we've done a really good job. I think we're going to reach our December goal very soon. So we're going to need a new goal of subscribers.
Yeah, and to bounce off of that, we do have a Just Uno pop-up lightbox capture running on our site right now. And it really has a strong incentive. You leave your email and phone number and you get a cookbook and 15% off. The cookbook is sent to your email, and then the 15% off is sent to your phone. So that way we encourage the user to open both, and that helps with engagement rates for both channels. That has really helped grow our list the most. And we've seen this month a 44% increase in our list since launching that from last month.
Launching the cookbook and discount strategy.
Yeah.
That's great. And it's awesome to hear about kind of the blended strategy there, not only across the offering, but across the channels as well, right? I think it's very easy to just kind of fall into that trap of thinking strictly about, you know, the type of discount or you know, free shipping, but you can do all of these other things that are so helpful for the brand equity that it's great to see that paid off from such a tactical subscriber growth perspective. But it is funny too, Sue, because like if you're a very loyal customer of a brand and you know what that discount threshold is, you see it in your inbox and then something above it pops up, you jump. So making it kind of that enticing, because then ultimately what that turns into further down the funnel, when you have these SMS subscribers, you're going to be able to yield much more from them. So very interesting. You get me on that move without a doubt. So speaking of the offer piece, and I know we touched on this just a little bit, Amber, you had mentioned the tiered offers, but I do want to just quickly unpack a little bit, like holiday specific. Everybody is slashing prices, offering different types of things. How do you think about whether it's a defensive move against competitors? How do you create an offer that you feel confident without knowing what else is out there, that you know it's going to stand out?
I think just looking at, you know, the data from past sales and really seeing how well that performed. And I think, again, it just comes with your resend strategy. You have to be aggressive and make sure you stand out, and for both SMS and email. And you just want to be able to position yourself with the right messaging at the right time to your customer base. We also are having a few bundles as well right after Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and I think that's really going to help support people who weren't really receptive to the tiered discounts. So we do have a plan that will help support kind of that lull period.
Got it. And I think that that's probably a pretty logical then transition here, right? You to use your words, Amber, Black Friday, Cyber Monday is the Super Bowl for e-commerce, and there's that Super Bowl hangover. But once the Super Bowl happens, the next season starts. And I think that's the same. I promised myself I wouldn't use a full-blown sports analogy, but here we are. The season starts again, right? And so there's all this momentum coming from this massive event with all the traffic, all the sales, all of the new subscribers. So how do you capitalize on them, right? And when the dust settles, what do you do next? So one of the things I want to really think about and unpack here, and Amber, I think maybe to start with you quickly, is how do you plan on, when it's all said and done, engaging with the new customers during that holiday season through automations, through flow building within the SMS bump platform, for example, just so you can maximize on not only the existing customers you've had, but any new customers you've captured during this time frame?
Exactly. And I think the most important thing to have in place is a post-purchase flow. You're going to want to tailor the messaging between your new customers and your returning. Those new customers, you're going to see a huge influx enter that flow because a lot of people right now are just looking for the best buy. And you want to be able to keep them engaged and learn a little bit more about you. And having that post-purchase flow for new customers specifically, tailoring that messaging, talking about our recipes, making a little bit more content about the brand, and then leading up to a bounce back offer. So that way we can encourage them to become a repeat purchaser. Obviously, bounce back offer is not going to be as rich as our Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but it's just going to be sweet enough to get them back.
Absolutely. And so one of the things I'd be curious about as well, and Sue, I think this could be, a good question to hear you answer, would be these types of flows that we're talking about. And you touched on it very briefly, Amber, but almost that conversational element of those different types of flows, just naturally a little bit different than email in terms of somebody replying to the copy that you are putting out there. So what are some of the ways that you're using SMS differently? Have people been replying to these types of messages? Are they engaging outside of just maybe like the call to action to go to the website? What has that experience been like?
Yeah, definitely. It's been a real difference because what it has done is that it's increased customer engagement altogether. So we're still getting the same amount of emails, but now we're getting real-time feedback. As soon as we send one of our review requests, they fill out the request, but then they'll respond to the text message. And we've never been able to do that before. And they'll tell us it was great, or what else should I take? I've already finished this product and I loved how it made me feel, but now I want to do this. So it really gives you just more opportunity for engagement. It's a lot more conversational. People will text me and be like, oh, the recipes are delicious. Thank you so much for doing this for us. We appreciate it. So it's brought us a lot closer to the customers. Our emails are a lot more professional and it's drier. This definitely has brought us closer to the customer. It's created one more channel for us to engage with them and, turn that into a sale.
Right. It is. I mean, once you open up that opportunity on what tends to be a pretty, personal channel, people may take that opportunity to actually give you that type of feedback you otherwise wouldn't have received. So very cool to hear that people have been commenting on recipes and things of that nature. And Amber, for you, right, with the conversational element, how do you work with Sue to kind of even come up with certain types of prompts or determine what you're even expecting to hear back from customers when building out one of those types of interactive flows?
I think it's just based on all the responses we've been getting and playing on that more educational factor, because a lot of the times someone loves the product and then they just think what Sue had mentioned, what's next? What should I buy next? What complements this? How can I improve my overall well-being with these products? And that's something that we want to hone in on a little bit more is educating them on the products and, you know, including those holistic benefits in the products and trying to create almost like a bulleted list in the message. That way it's very straightforward and they know that they're going in the right direction. Okay, so I'm going to be getting the chlorophyll next. And just different ways like that. And just being, you know, casual, conversational, and bridging the gap between just being a brand and now you're just humanizing yourself to become more relatable to that person.
Right. And that back and forth, not only, you know, for that initial conversation, but what that can mean as you continue to build that relationship over time. And Sue, I mean, you mentioned a kind of like a swath of different customers, but how do you think about first-time customers engaging in this channel versus existing customers who, you know and love the brand? Have you seen people engaging a little bit differently, and do you treat them differently in this channel?
We do. It's a lot more conversational. It's shorter. Um, you know, we definitely have been getting a lot of questions, like as far as what products should we try. I think for us, the hardest thing is, as a dietary supplement company, you can't just, all of these herbs have multiple benefits. They have like a lot of them, but it just has to be phrased in a certain way. So for us, it's very important for the customers to feel comfortable reaching out to us because we can make certain suggestions that we wouldn't otherwise be able to make. So it does allow us another avenue for us to communicate because everyone is so different and everyone has so many different needs. So you can't really make a recommendation unless you speak to that person. So we love people emailing us. We're very responsive. We respond like within a couple of hours. So just having that other channel and place where they can just send us a text very easily. You remove the formality of writing an email and they're texting us, hey, I have headaches. What do I get for this? And this is a great avenue specifically for our new customers that haven't purchased before. We just give them a lot more access. And also with this, you want to respond in real time. So you don't want them waiting around for hours. You want to get that response in there as quickly as possible because that's usually, you know, when you're texting someone, that's what you expect. So you have to be on that too.
Yeah, you don't want to get ghosted by your favorite brand in a text message conversation, to say the least.
Yeah.
So how are you, that's an interesting question though, because one of the things that I found is when you say SMS marketing, if you were to play a word association game, it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And some people will think the transactional shipping notifications, there's obviously all the marketing benefits that we've talked about, but another that people tend to think about is the customer service opportunity. And Sue, you've touched on a lot of that. So how are you managing that right now in terms of making sure that you are able to communicate in real time and be able to get in touch?
Yeah, we definitely, I have someone helping me during the day and I answer them myself at night until like I go to bed. I try to be very responsive and not just with that, with the emails, you know, these are real people and they want a response. They're waiting to shop. Just like if you would walk into a store, you want someone to help you right away. So we do try to, you know, I have someone working on it all day, checking it hourly, and just getting back to everyone.
It's great to hear because you would think, you know, at times maybe it's just automated or somebody's, but when you hear that the founder of a brand is actually the one replying back to those texts, I think that goes a long way for the customer.
Absolutely. And for me, that's the thing. I know the products. So especially when anyone requests a product or wants a recommendation, 90% of the time review all of those just because you just want to make sure. But yeah, you're getting real-time communication and you know, we offer recipes. Sometimes they want links to the product, so you can just add the link on there, if they're on their phone and shopping quickly. So it's just one more way to provide great customer service and get, a long retention for that customer.
Right. Delivering on a phenomenal experience through any channel, but particularly, of course, through SMS can go a long way as well. So Amber, for anyone who maybe would be, it finds it daunting to actually be the one replying to the messages like Sue is, what have you seen with other brands that you've worked with in terms of how, you can scale that type of operation, through automations and other types of strategies within SMS?
Yeah, I think a lot through, your post-purchase flows, trying to get feedback is a crucial area. And I think that's an important area to get that feedback. And it feels a little more personal with SMS because it's one-on-one. It's not like they're getting an email and they think, oh, everyone else is getting this email. But it's literally hitting their text inbox and they feel like they're the only ones getting it. And you can really personalize it and say, hey, Mike, thanks for your purchase. We'd really love to know your feedback. How was your shopping experience? And that's how the flows can come into play when the customers reply to those flows. And that's how you can start collecting data and learning, okay, how do I improve my shopping experience? Maybe it is adding a new product or optimizing our checkout page. Little tidbits like that are just so valuable, and having it housed in SMS Bump is amazing, and how everything's organized. We can have the responses in there and have them archive the ones that we've already addressed. So it's been great and it's been fluid. I think that's the most important thing, is making sure that your SMS marketing is fluid on a customer service standpoint.
Yeah, and one more thing. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Sue.
I just wanted to add one more thing. We also keep track of what they purchased. So if someone bought sea moss and bladderwrack and they haven't purchased another supplement, chlorophyll, then we'll send them an email. If they have, then another email is sent. So we also kind of use it to upsell.
Right. Of course. Yeah. So plenty then of use cases. Once somebody expresses maybe that slight intent, whether it's through the service lens or through any other type of kind of interaction with that content, yeah, there's an opportunity there to upsell as well. So we've talked a lot about engagement. We talked a little bit just now about the customer service piece. We've talked about all the awesome marketing that you can do, but let's get to, I guess, the big question, right? One of the things that excites people most about SMS is the ROI. So what ROI have you seen leveraging SMS, as comfortable ballpark range as you're willing to share, and just the impact overall that SMS has had on revenue?
Yeah, we've seen a huge impact. We've seen 800x return, just really continuous growth month over month. And I can't wait to see what the holidays are going to bring. We've just put such a small amount into a campaign. About a campaign costs us maybe 40, 60 bucks. And we make anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 off of just that one campaign. The conversion rate is extremely high for our campaigns, usually 6 to 10%. And yeah, we've just been seeing great results, and it continues to scale, especially with our list growth as well. So
that's one of, I think, the most exciting pieces, right? Amber, you threw out a lot of phenomenal statistics that I'm secretly writing down here under the camera. And I know that anyone else from YotPo who's here is probably doing the same. But I think what's really cool about this is the fact that it compounds on itself, right? I think when you're seeing that type of return with a campaign, and it sort of facilitates that whole funnel where you have more subscribers coming in and more opportunities to further segment and be more prescriptive with the messaging. So it's just really cool to see that even though Black Friday, Cyber Monday is sort of the tentpole opportunity, that all throughout the year, there's just a tremendous opportunity to be able to leverage the channel. So love those statistics, gonna shout them from the mountaintops once we get off of this call. So I guess sort of the last question here that I have, and then I think we are going to turn it to some potential Q&A from the audience so I can take a break from asking questions. When you think about life after Black Friday, Cyber Monday with SMS in mind, so you mentioned, we're new to it this year. What are you excited to try? What's something that maybe we're not going to do for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but once the dust settles, we'd love to explore expanding within the platform?
Oh, well, as far as like sales, we're probably going to immediately jump into bundles. And I think it's great that you get to send like picture messages through SMS, because we're going to definitely be using that feature and get the visual in there. Amber, to you.
Yeah, I think having more content focused text marketing, just focused on maybe more weekly recipes to our more engaged list, and just highlighting more recipes that we have and more educational content circling around our bestsellers and our bundles. Because, going into the new year, new year, you want to jump your health game. So we want to start providing more content for our customers, but it also has to be a little bit more digestible, because you do have less real estate in a text message. So it's just being a little bit more punchy and being more content driven.
Well, right. And that's the thing with our brand. We are a content driven brand. For me, it's very important for people to take these the right way. I almost prefer them to purchase if they're going to take them the right way, because diet is very important. So we try to offer the supplements, but we also try to give them a peek into the lifestyle. And that's why we have the free cookbook, and that's why we have the weekly recipes and our food list and our guidelines. These are all ways to get the herbs to work optimally, and for people to improve their health optimally. We really want to be like that resource for our customers, for health tips, for anything they may need. And also in our social media pages, we share a lot of tips. So having this new channel is just one more place where we can send them the weekly recipes, or send them twice a month, or offer them all these tips where not only are they going to shop for our products, but they're going to be inspired and they're going to be motivated. They're going to see this delicious recipe. Oh, it looks good. I can eat like that. Maybe I can do that. So really just holding their hand throughout the whole experience. And it's just so much easier to do that when you have a feature such as SMS, which is much more personable. So
that's great. And it's so funny because I now popped open the questions from the audience, of which there are many, which is very exciting. And one of the first questions was from Nate. So thank you, Nate. Do you suggest positioning SMS in a strategic conversation funnel that leads just to the sale? Or do you send the promotion without any conversation? So I think that that's interesting, right? When you talk about the guidelines and the use case for Alkaline Herb Shop, sort of building up that relationship. So are you jumping in most cases right into that transactional element, or how many steps are you taking in that conversation to sort of build up?
Well, that's the thing. Everything we send, and Amber can jump in a sec, but like everything we send isn't just the sale. We have the educational content, like, hey, check out our tea line, or this herb is great for that, or try these recipes. So we have a lot of different strategy. We're very conversational. We want to provide all this content, and then, we'll sprinkle on the occasional sale. So I don't know if you wanted to say something about that, Amber.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a balance between content and then, of course, mentioning a product and inserting a product in that type of content. And, we typically have started with our campaigns these last 2 months, focusing on the product and the holistic benefits of it. And then now in the new year, we want to flip that. So be more content heavy, and then later down the funnel, have that product recommendation towards the end. So that's something that we're looking forward to testing and as part of having a more content-driven messaging strategy.
Absolutely. And it makes total sense, right? I mean, the way that people engage with different types of content over time can dictate then, is that the right opportunity to even go that promotional route? So being able, I think, to have insight into the nuances of those different steps can be really helpful. This is a pretty tactical question, and I know, Sue, you're talking about launching this and you were excited for it post Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So Amber, I'll direct it to you. In your experience, SMS versus MMS, is it more effective in communicating your message? When is one preferable to the other? And what's your experience been there thus far?
Yeah, so definitely MMS performs really well when you're having a sale, because MMS allows you to have more real estate in the channel. You're able to have kind of more of a call to action. And especially since we are doing a tiered offer, we want to be able to visually lay out those tiers versus just in plain text. Another great opportunity for MMS is implementing customer reviews. And whenever you feature a product as a campaign, I think that's really powerful. Just creating a simple image and adding in there makes it really impactful. I think more of like free shipping weekends, that could be fun to play around with. It's more the promotions that you want to utilize MMS, but with different industries, it really depends. And you have to A/B test and see what performs best. And what has been performing best for us is using a blend of that. So utilizing the reviews for our product highlights and using just regular SMS if we're just doing a simple, straightforward free shipping weekend. So it's definitely a mix, and you definitely want to test it to figure out what's going to be best for your subscriber.
It's a really good point, and it's interesting that you bring up just the effectiveness of a simple image, right? I think it's very easy to go down the path of fun GIFs and really trying to be super eye-catching, but at the end of the day, sometimes just including a simple image that's straightforward and really relevant to the campaign can be helpful. But that question came from Baron. So I'm just going to shout everybody out who asked a question. So if you want to hear your name read, ask a question, I suppose is where I'm at now. But for Baron's question, I think the A/B testing component is really important. The ability to A/B test not only within campaigns, but also within automated flows that you're building will tell you pretty quickly how different segments within your audience are actually going to respond to these different types of campaigns. So a really good point. That came up there, and the questions are pouring in, Sue and Amber. So I feel like the phones are ringing off the hook. So let's see, where can we jump into here? So we talked about this a little bit, but I think if we could kind of enumerate what's a good way to build your list of contacts? We talked about a few of them. Sue, you mentioned a bunch of really cool things you're doing across email, but what other types of touch points can you leverage, Sue, for Alkaline, but Amber, from what you've seen in your experience as well, to build up that list of subscribers in a compliant way, of course, in the first place?
Well, for me, I'm very big on social media. I actually started my social media platform before I started my business. So you have to give stuff. You have to give. That's what people want. They want you to give them something. So a cookbook, we do that. We have a cookbook for our customers, and not only are they getting something, but it benefits us because some of them will follow the protocol. Some of them will follow the recipes, and the herbs will work even better. So for me, I created my social media platform years ago, and it was by sharing information and just sharing, and it slowly grew. And then I started my business, and I continue to share information. And now I prompt them to sign up for my newsletter by giving away the cookbook and, having sales, and the same thing with SMS marketing. And one thing I'm going to say about social media platforms is they're unpredictable, right? So Instagram could be great today, and tomorrow it's another platform. So the most important thing you can do is to build up that email list, build up that text message contact list, because that is how you can always communicate with your customers. So How do you do it? By just sharing as much information as possible, adding value. People like free information. People like little tips or anything you can give them that is helpful. That's certainly the way to drive traffic to any website.
Amber, anything you want to add there? Or should I move on to the next question?
Yeah, just a little add point here is giveaways. I've seen giveaways perform really well. You know, a simple, we're giving away a $150 gift card. Give us your phone number and you'll be the first to know who the winner is. Promoting that through paid ads, I think specifically through Facebook. I've seen good results with that with other brands, and just converting your email subscribers to SMS subscribers. Because if they're already brand loyalists and really engaged with your emails, they're going to want to be in that VIP text club.
Absolutely. And I think if I'm gathering correctly, what it sounds like is that you can't really be dependent on just like one type of touch point in order to grow that subscriber list, right? It's not just a pop-up and it's not just opting in at checkout. You need to have these relevant touch points kind of woven into the fabric of your marketing in general. So, just from my end as well, there's a lot of interesting things we're seeing these days. If we ever get back outdoors and back into, retail locations, blurring the lines between the digital and the physical locations with keyword opt-ins, text alkaline to this number to opt in for SMS marketing, QR code scanning. There's so many cool things that can happen as well, where it's this constant presence that whether it's on the back of your packaging, on the bottom of your email, or right there on the the footer of the website, that you can opt in for SMS and be a part, Amber, to use your words, of that VIP text club.
Well, just to add, what we're doing is we're going to add a little hyperlink that says promotions on the footer of our website, and then that will direct you to the SMS sign up page. So we also do that on our social media. We have highlighted stories and we have promotions on there, so they get to click on them and see the sales. So I think that also helps to pump more users in.
For sure. Just another, right? I mean, we've already just rattled off a ton of different examples between the three of us here. So those different touch points kind of as like a constantly present opportunity, I think is important. So this is an interesting question as well. And I don't know who asked it, so I'm sorry you don't have your shout out here. But Sue, you mentioned a bunch of different examples of people being so excited to text the brand, but there is a sentiment from, some people with this being the newer channel. How do you combat the idea that SMS might be too close to the customer, might be too personal, or might be spammy, let's say?
I mean, at first I thought so too, but the open rate and the conversions have been so high. I mean, some campaigns, do really, really well. And I really think now more than ever, it's just so important to have that customer information. God forbid tomorrow something happens to your website or your social media pages or whatever, you have that contact information. So I think that's really valuable. And I think the sooner you start collecting this information, the better. A lot of people don't like to email. Some people prefer to text message. There's a lot of people that aren't very good with email. So this gives you the opportunity to target that customer. And for me, it's just so important to have all of my customers like in a list and be able to contact them no matter what. So, like we started very big with social media, right? But now what we've done is we've built our email list. We've taken that social media audience and created our email list, and now we're funneling that into our SMS, and we are going to be incorporating more giveaways and things like that to build the list. But I just list and text marketing is just so powerful. It's even more effective than email marketing. So while it may be spammy or you may have that feeling, I mean, the conversions are there. So people are obviously engaging in it and they're obviously converting for a reason, and whoever doesn't want to, they can opt out. you know, they're there by choice. So.
Amber, anything to add there?
Yeah, I think any brands who are, hesitant to take that step into SMS marketing, I think it's just, getting your knowledge around it and making sure, Mike, you touched upon compliance. That is crucial. And, it's going to be different than email. You're not going to be doing 4 or 5 resends of a huge campaign. You're going to be doing maybe 1 to 2, and you're just being more casual and conversational. And you want these people to opt in their way, like they give consent to actually text you. And like Suhail touched on, is we're giving them the choice to, and there's nothing wrong with that. And people are more receptive to text sometimes more than email, so it just creates that additional channel. And I think it just all plays on learning more about the channel and figuring out, how am I going to position myself to my customers?
Absolutely. And the fact that it's opt-in, right, I think is important, right? I mean, that's the first step. Now, not everybody, is going to want to remain opted in. So to Sue's point, that opportunity to opt out. But I think what happens in between, just to add my own 2 cents for what it's worth, I think one of the things that's really important is keeping the channel very prescriptive, very tailored, and very relevant. The moment that it becomes irrelevant to that individual is probably the moment that they start thinking about actually opting out. So using this personal channel and keeping it personalized, whether it's by factoring in the conversational responses they've had, thinking about segmentation through the lens of their purchase behavior, all of those things factor into making a really successful campaign, but also building a long-lasting relationship in this channel. So I don't know how we're doing timing wise on all of this, but I do think with the one question that's kind of like staring me right in the face, I think could be a very strong way to wrap up here. So Lizzie asked, right, and I would imagine it's because we've talked about so many different things, but there's probably a bunch of people here who have no SMS experience whatsoever. So Sue, they're potentially like you were just, a handful of months ago. So with all these different cool things we've talked about, what advice would you give someone, one tip of advice you would give someone with no SMS experience whatsoever?
Just do it. The numbers are there, the conversions are there, the engagement's there. And Hawke Media has been very good as well with helping me, because I don't have the marketing background, and we don't have someone with the marketing background on staff. So it's very important that you are strategic with what you send. No one has told me that we send too many messages. We're very strategic with it, and it's just, it's a business, right? So we have to look at conversions and profitability, and the numbers are there. Like our returns are definitely there for what we're spending. We're getting a great deal. So yeah, I think, why would you not get something that's going to increase your revenue so much? I know, like on days we do campaigns, it's definitely felt. So it's definitely helped us, that's for sure.
I'm going to go back to my team and see if SMS bump just do it. I'll see if that slogan's taken. I can't imagine that it is, but I'm going to try and take that back to the team, and we'll see. Amber, your lasting thought there, your final thought on what advice you would give someone just getting started with SMS?
If you're just getting started, read up, educate yourself, or you can hire someone like myself.
That's the best answer, right?
Yeah. And honestly, having Amber has been such a big help, because she's really, like, not having that marketing experience and all that, she's really helped to spearhead our entire campaign strategy. So because that's important. You want to send the right messages, and you want to not overwhelm the customer. So if you don't have that experience, just getting someone to help you, even if it's at first or whatever, that's also something to consider.
And I think the last point that I'll add is while Amber's inbox gets flooded with all the requests now to get help setting up SMS, it's never, never, never too early to start building out your subscriber base. So even as you're thinking about building out your first campaigns or what your flows look like and waiting for Amber to call you back, I'm sure she calls back right away. But while you're in that process, start growing your subscribers so that when the time is right and you are ready to flip that switch, you have, a powder keg of subscribers ready and willing to receive those text messages. So I think that is going to be it for us here. Amber, Suhail, it's been an absolute pleasure sharing the virtual stage with you. Thank you again to Hawke Media. Much appreciated. So Scott, we'll turn it back over to you.
Hey, thank you so much, Mike. And thank you, Sue. And thank you, Amber. It's nice to hear good words about you. A lot of people at Hawke really don't like Amber, as it turns out, which is really funny to hear some of those good words. So I feel a lot better about that. I kid. It's the end of the day. I'm a little slap happy. You guys hung in tough. A lot of great information. I really appreciate your partnership, Mike, and your company, and I'm really looking forward to working with you, Sue, and appreciate your kind words as well. Good luck with your business. This is the time to really get after it. This has not been an easy year, so my hat is off to you with my big bald head to view. And congratulations on being in business and getting after it. So thank you guys very much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Scott.
Okay, have a great rest of the day. But that's a wrap for day 4. But it's not over. We appreciate everybody's contributions for this holiday prep. And we appreciate our sponsors, YotPo, Route, and OmniSend for all the valuable education on how we can better prep for our business for the holidays. Super important. But just because today's over doesn't mean that we're gonna have to stop networking. So if you're smart and you've already invested this much time today and you've kept hydrated, you're gonna head over to Brand Club LA and have a chance to chat with some of the presenters today, talk to some of the sponsors, some other people that you can network with, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Our final day, highlighting female founders and businesses in the fashion and beauty space. As you can imagine, it's going to be a bang-up show. Love to see female founders getting after it in technology. There are some amazing success stories out there. You're going to hear about them tomorrow. And the beauty and fashion industry is on fire. Massive pivots going on in the space from brick and mortar to direct to consumer, eComm stuff, which seems obvious, but a lot of people have made some big changes. So be sure to tune in tomorrow at 9 a.m. And thanks so much for participating. Thanks to all our sponsors. And thank you, everybody that came out to play with us today. So we'll see you tomorrow. Peace and love.